Good evening, everyone. I'm Dominique Veldier, and welcome to Protecting Your Money from Scams and Fraud. And this is my colleague, Terrence Bazil. He is a community engagement specialist along with me, and we will be doing and hosting your presentation this evening. And we will be turning off our cameras and give you an opportunity to really enjoy this presentation and take some notes. And thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. But before we get started, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the credit union. So it's not for profit. It's just like a bank, but it's just not for profit. And so we solely exist for the essence of our members. And if you join, you're a member for life. Your family members can become members, your spouse, children, grandparents, etc. So we provide you with a lot of different products and services, just like a bank. Access to your ATM. We have different branches. We have credit cards, loans, savings and checkings, all of those great options. And you can really access us anywhere online or in person at any of our locations. And speaking of locations, we have a new branch that opened up a little bit, I would say November, October, and it's located at the Longwood Medical Area, right underneath the Joslin Diabetes Center on Brookline Avenue. So it's otherwise known as LMA. So if you happen to be in the area, please give us a visit. Stop by, say hello, or we're so happy to help you at that branch located at 435 Brookline Avenue. Wanted to also talk to you about a service that we have for our members. It's called Thrive. It's our financial wellness counseling program. We have a lot of different blogs, workshops, and they have worksheets that you can do right online. We have short snippets of videos that you can watch and gives you a variety of different topics. And also we have a calculator that you can do right online, right on the education portal. And you can reach that at huecu.org/thrive. And Terrence is putting a lot of these links in the chat for you. So don't worry about it. If you don't have a pen and you're not able to take the notes, you can copy and paste the links in our chat. So today's webinar, we're going to reduce any background noises that we have, and please use the questions feature if you have any questions for us. And this presentation is being recorded, so if you miss anything, you can catch it on our YouTube channel at MyHUECU. And we will be posting a survey at the end, so take that survey, let us know how we did and how we can do it better. So Terrence is going to take it from here and really explain what are some frauds and what are some scams you need to be looking out for.
Thank you, Dominique. So there is a difference between scams and fraud. I do know that they can be used interchangeably. And throughout this presentation, we're going to go over what the differences are and what to look out for. So, what are scams and fraud? Fraud are usually a bit more complex, targeting large organizations, and they usually result in large monetary losses. However, with scams always involve losses of money. Fraud could be an IRS fraud or voter fraud, which is something that was very popular in the news recently. But they don't always necessarily mean a loss of money. Scams 100% always mean loss of money. And they usually target individuals, whether it's your Zelle fraud, the Amazon scam, check fraud, check scams, I'm sorry. If I accidentally use them interchangeably, that's 100% by accident. For more fraud examples are money laundering, Ponzi schemes, or bribery. Both are detrimental to the individual and the organization, and we will be talking about different ways to protect yourself from both. So next up, we're going to look into types of scams and fraud and what you can do to protect yourself. A big example of scams are deposit check scams. This is a case where Either checks are sent to the mail to family members, especially during the holiday season. And what the scam artist will do, or the criminal will take the check from the mail and wash it. By washing it, they will remove the who it's paid to and replace that with their own name, maybe possibly replace the amount or replace anything that is identifiable, and changing the correct receiver of the check to now the scammer. There's also money transfer scams. These are going to be your online romance scams where someone will claim to impersonate someone else and say that they love you or something sweet to play on your emotions. And when in reality, it's not the person that is truly behind the it's they're not claiming who they are. Another one is a grandparent scam, which unfortunately these scam artists do like to target the elders or the younger generation because they can be a bit more vulnerable due to technology. Not always, but that is the case. And they are taking advantage of people's emotions, especially now with the pandemic and high inflation. And it's an unfortunate thing that's happening right now. And the best ways to prepare yourself or protect yourself is to become aware of them and have an open and honest conversation with your younger generation, if you have kids in the house, or your grandparents, not communicating something that is shameful or saying, hey, you should have known better, but making it open and honest and transparent. So that way you can say, hey, this is what's happening right now to everyone, and educating all generations. So that way it's a very strong barrier of, hey, I know exactly who I'm communicating with, and there's no reason for me to be bamboozled per se. There's also gift card scams where it's a common phone call of, hi, your son or daughter is in jail or is in some kind of trouble. And to get them out of trouble, you are required to purchase gift cards to pay bond money or pay bail money. If at all times someone is asking you to purchase a gift card in exchange for goods and services and instead of regular payment, red flags and alarms should start going off and blaring saying, hey, this may not be accurate. This may not be true. This could be a scam. Another type of scams is smishing or phishing and smishing. Phishing is the email version, and smishing is the text version. The definition is receiving a communication that is impersonating a business that you may or may not have a relationship with. Now, this is going to be your Capital Ones or your Amazon scam that's going on Facebook. That's for a long time saying, hey, your Amazon account or Walmart.com account has been accessed, or this purchase of $500 has been done on your account. Log in here to make sure it's correct, or text saying, hey, we received X amount of dollars from you. Whatever the case may be, usually there is a link involved. Please do not press on the link. If you are curious or you do have a relationship with that company that the scam artist is claiming to be, don't respond, delete the message, delete the email. Instead, reach out to that company through verified communication channels. And by that, I mean logging on to their website or calling the phone number on the back of the card if it happens to be a financial institution and saying, hey, I just received this phone call or this number. Is this true? Is this accurate? There's also government impersonators, which goes on around tax time, which is going to be your IRS. Or I personally have been getting a lot of these phone calls from the police union asking, hey, there's been a lot of police action going on and the union needs my help and they need money from me. These are just the latest of tricks and scams that these criminals are using to take advantage of you and possibly get money from you. The IRS will never call you. If in doubt, always use trusted sources, a .gov email. Either we'll touch on it later to see the official website, but please, if anyone that you know has been exposed to this or a victim of this, this is nothing shameful. This is just the scam artist getting significantly better at what they're doing. And the best ways to prevent them from doing what they do is to educate yourself. And you're doing that right now by attending this webinar. So good on you. Why care about scams and fraud? So we care about scams and fraud because there's a lot of risk with this. The effects of compromised information, they can potentially create a new identity with your information. And with that, they're opening new accounts, new credit card accounts, new loans, and they're not paying off the debt. It would be great if they were, if they would open an account in your name and suddenly start making payments on time and boosting your credit score. That would be phenomenal. Unfortunately, that's not the case here. They are opening and maxing out credit cards, maxing out line of credits, and potentially even wiping out like bank accounts. And this could have a detrimental negative impact on your credit reputation, your credit score, your credit history, and it's a headache to fix. It's not impossible, but it's extremely, extremely difficult, and it's a long, time consuming process to rectify the situation. I think, Dominique, you have a great story of one of your friends that went through something like this.
Yes. So one of the things they also try to do is they talk really, really fast and try to get you to stay on the phone. One of the things you can do is hang up the phone. This is no time to be polite. You don't want to hang up the phone on anyone, but if that gut instinct of yours says, I'm not quite sure, feel free to hang up. Because my friend's husband, it took him 4 years to get his identity back. His identity was stolen. This person was opening up credit cards, purchased a car, and he had planned on purchasing a house. He had to delay that by another 4 years. In addition to the 4 years he spent battling just to, reclaim his own identity. And so that's why the effects of the compromised information is really, really vital and key. Because imagine if you are in the process of say, okay, I'm going to buy a car, I'm going to buy a house. Well, if your information is compromised, you're trying to prove that it is indeed you, that you did not open up these accounts, that you are a good, a person, you're responsible. So it's important to really try your best to protect yourself at all costs, because those scammers, they don't sleep. They are always thinking of, what's the next step? How can I try to scam people out of their money, out of their identity? And so it's important to be armed with a lot of different information.
Awesome. Thank you, Dominique. I see that we have a question in the chat. What settings should we use for our browsers to make them more secure? Awesome question. And I like where you're going with this. You're actually a little bit ahead of us. We will be
Mhm.
talking about ways to, what key factors to look for when you're browsing online to ensure that the site you're browsing is, in fact, secure. Let's keep going. Oh, what can you do to protect yourself? Perfect. Recognize those red flags right here in this question. As Dominique mentioned before, having a sense of urgency, that sense of urgency where they're rushing, they're saying, hey, I need you to answer right now, or they're putting some sense of pressure on you to act quickly without thinking.
And start asking you for personal questions right away. If it's your bank, if it's your credit card company, they already have that information. They wouldn't ask you certain personal questions. So this is what I mean about stop being polite, be rude, and hang up on them. I know I've gotten, even this morning, I had a couple of texts that says, press this on this right now, press on this link. I didn't even bother. I just swiped to the left and deleted it, because when you click on it, it can go and compromise your entire phone and all the data and information on your phone. You don't even want to get to that point, just delete.
Awesome. And when you're browsing, be on the lookout for the S and HTTPS to ensure that the website that you're accessing is secure. Don't open unknown attachments, and really be a grammar Nazi as well. See if the spelling in the website or the email or something just looks off.
Mhm.
Another thing is threatening. If they're threatening you with potential fines, or you need to act now or else someone's going to get hurt, any sense of threatening tones at all, red flag, it's potentially a scam. don't look at it. Don't even deal with it.
And
We
they
do
tell
have
you, oh, you're going to get arrested. You have to go to court. And you know you didn't do anything. You've been a law abiding citizen. Hang up on them.
I also see a question in the chat about people washing checks. How dangerous is it to pay utility bills by check? If possible, I would attempt to utilize your financial institution. Most banks offer online bill pay, where they will mail the check on your behalf, or I would utilize online payments so that way you don't have to potentially run the risk of your check being intercepted by a scammer or a criminal, because they're always on the lookout for that kind of stuff. Um, it can be dangerous, and if I were what I would recommend is utilizing your financial institution or online banking to have that extra sense of security. Um, okay, and I will be moving on. This is a scam example. And what I'll be doing is I'll give it about 10-20 seconds to allow everyone to kind of look over it and see what's going on. And then Dominique and I will be pointing out some of the potential red flags that are wrong with this email here. Okay, quick look. Now, so for this example, hope everybody can see my mouse. Some of this information right here, your $90 Capital One reward, right over here, $50, Axis $50 reward. There's a mismatch of information here. That's
And the
one red
math is off.
the math is off. That's one red flag. Second red flag right here, this Capital One email address, that's completely off. That's YYKNP, whatever it is, at luxusus.com. That's another red flag. This is not Capital One. One more red flag. This logo right here, this is not the Capital One logo. This is another red flag. Just being a little bit of a detective and kind of tapping into your inner grammar Nazi to see if this is actually true, and having a healthy dose of skepticism could potentially save you thousands of dollars down the line in avoided scams. This is one of the best ways that you can quickly and accurately just do a quick is this real? And you know what? If this is in fact true, reach out to Capital One directly using your trusted, verified communication sources, the number on the back of the card, through the app that you have, and call and say, hey, Capital One, I received this. Is this true? And if it is, lucky you. If it's not, you have saved yourself the potential harm of being scammed.
And also, if your gut instinct says, I'm not quite sure who this email is from, don't even bother opening it. Just go ahead and delete it quickly so that it does not infect your computer.
Perfect. This is another example of a scam. And I'll give it another maybe 10-20 seconds to review this, because honestly, this is pretty good. All right. Now let's see. I'm going to read this out loud. Hey there, we're the customer service team reaching out to help our newest members to get started with Netflix. If you'd like to chat before you start your subscription, you can call this number. Any questions? Also, there's a bunch of information in our help center, including answers to common questions about how Netflix works. If you're all set, finish setting up your account to start watching. If there's anything else you need help with, don't hesitate to contact us. Finish signing up. This is a very, very convincing message. And I know the context behind this, so I'm going to help you parse this up a little bit. This message was sent to someone who is an existing Netflix member and has been a Netflix member for quite some time. So it would be kind of strange to receive a message saying, hey, finish signing up, when they've already been a member of Netflix. Not only that, this message is saying, oh, hey, finish setting up your account, when in fact, if you already had an account, they wouldn't be sending it something to you to finish setting it up. One more thing. Hey there. This is a
Yep.
big red flag. It would normally say your name directly. It wouldn't just be informal like this. This is one of the ways that the scam artist is getting better at trying to get you to click on something. And the reason why we show this is because this is not an immediate, like, hey, this is a red flag here. This is to show that they are getting this good at sending messages that look this real. If you receive something like this, or you feel like, you know what, this is kind of sketchy, do not call the number that is listed in the message, because that is a number that will lead you to a criminal waiting on the other end, ready to answer your questions incorrectly and lead you down the wrong path. Don't click on any of the links. If you have any questions at all about any accounts that you have with or existing business relationships, whether it's Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, don't click on the links that they send you in messages. Always reach out to them directly, whether it's on their website or their homepage, even on the numbers on your account statement. Sometimes your credit card account statement could potentially have the phone number attached to their company.
And they're taking advantage of the fact that Netflix has been on the news lately, because they're thinking about raising, their prices because people are sharing accounts. And also, most businesses don't say "Hey," they'll say "Dear Dominique,"
Mhm.
"Dear Terrence," or "Dear Mister," or "Dear Miss." They don't just say "Hey." That's just very unprofessional.
Yes, the informal tone is a big red flag. Next up, protecting yourself. Best ways to protect yourself: be mindful of what you are sharing. Use secure emails if possible. Do not use public Wi-Fi, and do not sign into online banking using public Wi-Fi. Be extremely stingy with your information. Treat it like gold. Treat it like money, because it is. It does give your information are the keys to your financial history, your financial wellness, and you want to be sure that those keys are not just dangling out for somebody to grab, and we want to protect your information as much as possible. When in doubt, verify who you are doing business with. Double check, triple check. And if you are unsure, ask for help. Ask for a second set of trusted eyes to say, hey, I received this email, whether it's a son, a daughter, an elder person, or whoever it is that you trust. Say, hey, just take a look at this. Is this true or not? Is this accurate? It can't hurt, and it could potentially save you thousands in scams that you did not take a part of. Anything else to add, Dominique?
Have an honest conversation with your family and friends and share information that you've heard. Say, hey, I heard about blah 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 that's going on. I just wanted to, someone called me about this, and I don't think that it was a legitimate thing. And I'll give you another example. A friend of mine had just finished paying her electric bill, and she got a call. Really, what the person was rushing, talking really really fast, and she didn't even think about it because she's thinking, well, I just paid, but she didn't even question, well, if I just paid, why are they calling me? She ended up selling them $2,000
Mm,
from her own account. And then when she realized it, she didn't even owe $2,000. And she thought her husband had paid, and she ended up paying. And so ended up getting her money back, but she was sick for days when she told me that story. So it's one of those things too. Share information with other people. And I say, if someone is trying to talk really, really fast and you just pay, you should have been like, wait a minute, let me go and check. I'll call you back. Take their number. Once you ask, can I have your number? 9 times out of 10, they hang up on you. And then also, the government is also here to help. If something like this happens to you, you can report it to the Federal Trade Commission at ftc.gov/complaint. So you can file a complaint, but you don't even want to get to that part because you are armed with information. So you don't want to be a victim. They call you, send you an email, you're not quite sure. You just don't answer it, delete, delete, delete.
mm. We did get a question in. What were you saying about not signing on to online banking? Oh, I can definitely clarify. Please do not sign into online banking using public Wi-Fi. So that's your Starbucks. I know Xfinity
Airport.
airports. I know Xfinity Wi-Fi is everywhere. Please do not sign into any online banking or secure financial institution apps using that public Wi-Fi, because your information is not secure, and anybody else who is also logged into that same Wi-Fi can potentially see exactly what you're doing and see your keystrokes. And as soon as you leave, potentially log into that same website using your information.
And you see the
What?
lady in the picture there, she's, at the ATM. When you're at the ATM, yes, be selfish. Move your body to cover your passcode that you are putting inside at the machine to get your money out. And if someone is there, you feel uncomfortable, feel free to just walk out and go find another ATM where you feel much more comfortable as well.
Hmm. And again, there's no shame with this. Please, these criminals are targeting elders and children. So the more you have a conversation with them and you educate them, the better prepared they can be to protect you and protect themselves. And now we'll go into how HUECU protects you. We have several security measures in place when it comes to us contacting you or you contacting us. Some examples of this are when members call, we ask additional questions to verify your identity. We will never, never, never ask you for passwords. If you get a call from someone claiming to be HUECU, feel free to say you can't talk right now and end the call and call us back. Our team is trained to expect for that to happen, and we know it's for your own protection. And go on our website or on social media to verify our numbers. So,
And we also
mhm,
have we monitor suspicious activities that's happening in your account. If it's not something, say for example, most of your transactions are here in Massachusetts. Now all of a sudden it's in California. We're going to call you and say, we figured out this is not the pattern of behavior for your account. Is everything okay? Because sometimes you could have forgotten to mention that you are going on a trip to California, but we are monitoring to make sure that it's, a pattern that is according to your account.
that's also a really, really good tip, Dominique. If you are traveling, I know the summertime is coming. If you are traveling to places that you don't normally travel to, or you're expecting a big trip, call us and let us know so that way we can place any kind of additional flags or potentially expect some new activity for you. You don't run the risk of having your card be disabled or whatnot. Always having some open communication with us so that way we can do our best to protect you no matter where you are.
And then some of the things you can also do, if you get any one of those robocalls, you can hang up on them, like I was saying before, because scamming calls are illegal. And then, Terrence and I said, look out for any of those phishing emails or any of those texts. And then, if they were asking you, oh, can you donate to, like you said, Terrence, you got a call saying the police officers union, and they
Hmm.
want you to donate. You're not too sure, investigate before you donate to any kind of charity. And then you could also do something that's really helpful for yourself. You can sign up for any alerts on your account, whether it's your credit card, here with the bank. You just go into your online banking and put any alerts. If, for example, if your balance is a particular amount, you can give you an alert so that you are always ready for action and seeing what's happening in your account. And then also, what we're doing right now, joining different webinars that are going to give you the latest up-to-date scam things that are happening out there, just to arm yourself, and then again be transparent with your family and friends about things you've heard so that you're aware. So if someone tries to pull a fast one on you, you're ready to go.
Hmm. Oh, a great one. Set spending alerts. They're good for budgeting and they're good for protecting you. I personally have spending alerts or thresholds on all my accounts. Whenever any transaction over $200 happens, whether it's me or not, I get a little text saying, "Hey, this just happened. It was over $200. Are you sure this was you?" And if it's me and I'm expecting it, I let it go. And if I'm not, I know for a fact something just happened and I need to take the necessary measures to make sure it doesn't happen again. Next up, what to do if your information is compromised. We've all been there, and there is the risk. And here's what we're gonna talk about to potentially prepare you to ensure that it's not compromised. But if it was, this is how you can take steps to ensure that you're protected going forward. First step is to freeze your credit. Freezing your credit, and not just one credit bureau, all three credit bureaus. That's Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. There's a misconception out there that if you freeze one, all three are frozen. That's not the case. You have to freeze all three individually to have the full protection about this. And what that means is no one is able to access your credit or open new lines without your permission. It does make things a bit more of a hassle if you yourself are looking to open lines of credit, because that means you need to unfreeze it. But there's peace of mind with that. You know that no one, not even you, can open new lines without your explicit, okay, I'm opening this line for a window. And what's great about it is that window aspect of it. Can actually open your specific credit report. Let's say you're looking to get a new car. You can ask the lender, hey, which credit report do you use? They'll let you know we use TransUnion. Then you say, all right, I'm going to open up my TransUnion report for access between Monday and Friday this week. And then it's closed after that. You let the lender know and say, hey, you have these 5 days to access it. Do what you need to do. And then it's frozen again. Now you go back to having that peace of mind. There's also reviewing your credit reports and monthly account statements. There's one place where you can review your credit report for free. It's annualcreditreport.com, and I'll place that link in the chat shortly, um, where you're able to access your TransUnion, your Equifax, and Experian credit reports, and you want to review them to ensure that there's no new lines that you don't recognize. Everything appears to be accurate, and you want to ensure that everything that is on there is actually supposed to be on there, because the sooner that you're able to catch it, the
Mm-hmm.
sooner and easier it is to make it aware, to say, hey, this is not me, to dispute it. And before these criminals are able to max out and open new credit lines. Because what they'll traditionally do is they'll test the waters. They'll charge a small account or just charge a small amount for like $1, $2. They'll open a
Mm-hmm.
small account and not do anything with it for a while to see if you notice it. And all of a sudden, once they know it's good and clear, it's been a couple months, they'll open a whole new line and charge thousands upon thousands. And now you're fighting an uphill battle to get all that removed.
And just make it a regular habit to see what's on your account, whether it's your savings, your checking account, even down to the penny. And I'll give you an example. I have a cousin who was a member of a particular gym. So the gym was going out of business and they transferred everyone from that gym to a Planet Fitness. Well, my cousin, he's very negligent. He never, ever, ever looks at his account. So fast forward to 2 years later, that's when he realizes he's being charged and for this amount all this time. He never paid attention. So he's upset and he was able to get some of the money back, but he wasn't able to get all of the money back because he never checked his account. So I told him, make it a habit to just check your account, whether it's once a week or, at least once a month, to say, hey, wait a minute, this is, just read everything and say, this doesn't match. I didn't make this purchase, or why is this money being debited from my account?
Mm. You can also sign up for credit monitoring. Each of the bureaus, some offer them for free, some offer them as a paid service. Sometimes your employer will offer identity monitoring as well as a benefit. Different ways to just increase security on your credit monitoring. You could also place passwords on your account if and you can also close your accounts if you feel like they're not, as Dominic mentioned, not being utilized, you're not monitoring it. I have personally have had a friend that went through this. She's a real estate agent, so she's in the public eye.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she has opened so many credit card accounts just for the sake of boosting her credit as quickly as possible for the sake of buying houses. And never finds the time to utilize all of them, but she didn't want to close them. Lo and behold, one of the accounts that she wasn't monitoring because she knew that she wasn't using it as her daily was compromised, it was accessed, and the criminal actually opened a brand new credit card using her identity and started using it. And all of a
Wow.
sudden, her score dipped dramatically as she was trying to get a new house. And she quickly had to contact the lender, contact the credit bureaus. And thankfully, she caught it before anything was damaged. And it was a credit card account. So the credit card company was willing to work with her.
Mm-hmm.
But that was a very scary moment for her. And she ended up closing the accounts. I know there's some fear where if you close accounts, you could potentially drop or have a negative impact on your credit score. That is true. However, if you have other credit cards that you're utilizing, it may not be as much of a negative impact as if it was your only credit card that you're using. So having a variety of credit cards could potentially help you in that way. And closing your accounts if you're not using them, seriously.
And also filing a police report. If all else fails, definitely file a police report. You want to have as much documentation as possible, so you can present it to the banks, and your credit card company, if you become a victim, which we're here today so you don't become a victim.
hmm And as you mentioned before, federal resource, identitytheft.gov is your one-stop resource for identity theft victims and ways to report it and what to do if you feel like you have been a victim of identity theft. That is identitytheft.org, identitytheft.gov. And I'll put that in the chat right now.
I think we also have a question in the Q&A.
Yes, it's more of a comment than a
Okay.
question.
Okay.
But we can still address it. The credit card companies do have a lot of information, and it can feel uncomfortable to put in more information to get access to your information. However, that is a safeguard that they've put in to ensure that you are who you say you are when accessing your report. Because once that your report that has a lot of information on it, it's very personal, and it would not be great to have that fall into someone else's hands that is not you.
Absolutely.
And always, always, always be vigilant.
And we have
Ne-
a great service for you as members of the credit union. We have GreenPath, and GreenPath is a free service that we pay for. And it helps you with a lot of financial wellness. It offers free credit and budget counseling, and they are on Central Time, so they're also available on the weekends as well, up to I believe 10 p.m. Eastern Time. And they have access to about 150 different languages, so they can assist anyone with any kind of financial questions that they have, and you can access them at huecu.org/greenpath. And you can just even a phone call. If you have been a victim of scams, they can also help you with that, navigate that as well. If you are trying to get on the right path on your financial journey, they can help you get on that path as well. Do you want to add anything, Terrence?
Nope, I'm just putting some links in the chat, but
Thank you so much.
that was perfect. Next up, we have Learning Lab Plus. So this is a free online educational portal offered by GreenPath, and they have many, many courses. Some of them are making the most of your money, an A1 credit tool, and paying down your credit card debt. They are a phenomenal resource that we offer, as Dominique said, completely free of charge for our members. When you call, just let them know HUECU sent you, and you'll have all access. Some products that they do offer they do cost some money, but they are very, very good about disclosing which products are completely free and which products have a small cost. Um, we also want to communicate in this time of inflation. We have a Smart Rewards savings account that is now open. No fees, it's 4%, and it's not too bad. It's huecu.org/smart rewards if you're interested in learning more. We also have a blog. We constantly update our blog. We provide, I think it's 3 to 4 times per week that we update it. We try to keep everything relevant. We try to keep it timely. And if you're looking to learn more, visit our blog at blog.huecu.org. And that link is going in the chat right now.
Yes, and you can subscribe and visit the website to participate in the blog, and you could read it, on your phone or on your computer as well. And then wanted to remind you to take our survey at huecu.org/survey. Just let us know if you'd like the webinar, things we can change for anything that you need. So just don't forget to take the survey at the end.
And full disclaimer, this presentation is only for educational purposes. Please don't sue us. We are not offering you legal advice. This should not be taken as tax, legal, investment advice. Always contact a certified advisor for advice on your specific situation. And the examples used in this presentation are illustrative and for purposes only, and conceptual and only for educational. Please don't take these things literally. It's only to educate you. Please keep in touch. We are HUECU at harvard.edu. You can find us on all social channels at myHUECU. And we have a little bit more time. If there's any questions in the Q&A, please let us know, and we'll be happy to answer them. You have us until 6:30 if necessary, but if not, we can end early as well.
And also, this is being recorded, so you can go on our YouTube channel at myHUECU, give us a like, give us a follow, share with any of your family and friends who are members or non-members, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and we'd love to connect with you. And these are members or staff members at our LMA branch at Longwood Medical Area. They'd love to see your beautiful faces. Stop by and say hello to them if you happen to be in the area.
Okay. Any questions while we are here? You have us? Anything at all?
Looks like we don't have any more questions. Thank you so much for those of you who joined us and stayed with us to the end. We really appreciate your presence this evening. Oh, we have another question. Hold on one second. Hold on.
What should we do if we were affected by the Harvard Pilgrim breach? I'm not too familiar with that. Are you, Dominique?
Yes. So a lot of people's information, especially their personal medical information, were compromised. There was a data breach. So one thing I would do is I would check any of your accounts that anything, because your date of birth, your social, all of those things are out there. So I would get a credit report to see if anything has been compromised in any way, and if your information is out there basically, and then keep an eye on it and keep monitoring them. And what Terrence and I talked about earlier, as far as setting up alerts and monitoring your account. In fact, for me, because I'd be so paranoid, I'd be monitoring it several times a day. And that's, your credit cards, seeing your account, if anything has changed or moved in any different way. And they should have sent you any sort of letter or any kind of email addressing the situation, so that see what happens, and obviously apologizing. But I would just definitely keep an eye on all of your I would do an annual, because you get a free credit report every year. I would definitely do that. It's annual credit report. Is it .gov, Terrence?
.com. I'll put that
.com. Thank you.
link right now.
Yeah.
Also, I would contact GreenPath directly and let
Yes.
them know your situation. They are extremely, extremely phenomenal, and let them know that, hey, I've been breached by the Harvard Pilgrim data leak, and they will be able to communicate very concrete next steps.
Yes.
Yes, you can get one free credit report per year. However,
Yes.
there's a bit of a nuance with that. You are able to get one from each credit bureau. So if you time it right, you can get TransUnion and then wait 3 months, and then get Equifax and then wait 3 months, and then get Experian.
Experian.
Yes. Let me grab that link now. Is there any other questions while you have us?
Great. No, we've answered all those questions. I'm really sorry your information was breached.
Same here. That's really
Yes.
disappointing.
That's why you always have to. Someone wants to know, how do you set up a credit freeze?
Best way to set up a credit freeze is to visit each credit bureau's website individually, and they will have a little tab either in the top, because each credit bureau is different, and it'll say freeze. You'll have to create a login, create an account. You'll have to enter a PIN as well. And then once you do, you will be able to set it to freeze, and it will be frozen until you decide to unfreeze it. Does obtaining a credit report impact your credit score? No, it does not. You are able to access your credit report as often as we mentioned earlier, and there is no impact to your credit score.
And you want that information, especially say you wanted to purchase something like a home or a car down the line. And in the other person's case where their information was breached, you want to make sure everything is on the up and up, and that no one has, impacted your credit in any way or stolen your identity, and creating all kinds of credit fiascos with your information.
Perfect. And that link for the credit report website is in the chat. It's a white background and it should be orangish and kind of gray. It's the only free place. If you have to pay for it, it is not the site. You do not have to pay for this. This is completely free of charge. If you visit a site and they're asking for your credit card information, you are not in the right place. Okay. I believe that's all the questions that we have. I don't see anything else. Oh, I got a question. I tried to freeze one of them, couldn't, so I telephoned, but she froze it without telling me the pin needed to unfreeze. Can I leave it frozen forever? You can leave it frozen forever if you want. You just will not be able to open new lines of credit using that specific credit report. If they want to unfreeze and tell you the pin, I'm sure they'll be able to help you if you give them a call back. You can leave it frozen forever. There is no harm to it. You just won't be able to open new lines.
Any other questions? Alrighty, we'll give you your rest of your time back this evening. Thank you so much for joining us, and we wish you a good evening.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye, everyone.